Service Learning Reflection by J.C. Davila. Mrs. Sharon, what are your volunteer plans?
My volunteer plans will be to tutor students for my world geography classes. I am currently student teaching in Homer Hanna Early College High School. I will help mostly struggling students who need extra assistance on material I cover during normal class time. I will use these tutoring sessions as a means to reteach my lessons. These tutoring sessions will exclusively and primarily focus on my discipline, which is history.
Mrs. Sharon, what anxieties do you have as you begin your service learning?
My biggest anxiety as I start my service learning are that I will not be able to reach and help these students. I fear that if I couldn't make them comprehend the content during my lesson, I won't be able to reach them at all. Another anxiety of mine is that I find myself questioning my teaching prowess as I assist the students to learn content that I have already taught. My other anxiety has to do with the more personal interaction I will have to have with my students. These personal interactions demand a more intimate touch, and I find myself being a very detached person.
Mrs. Sharon, describe your service learning experience. Please try to only state facts.
In short, my service learning experience can be described as: during my tutoring sessions, I decided to individualize the lectures during small turnouts. When there were more students in my sessions, I divided the lectures into small groups. While I was tutoring, I will use different teaching strategies that allow me to reteach the lessons that students needed help with. Two good examples were KWL and Think Persia.
Mrs. Sharon, briefly describe your reaction to this experience.
My reaction to this experience is: I had a hard time reaching these students. They were not interested in the material at all. I was overwhelmed at the beginning adjusting to the students' needs. I learned that you can easily judge a student without knowing them fully well. You can jump to conclusions and make misguided assumptions on certain students, when the truth is you have no idea what these kids are going through or why they're really struggling. However, through this experience, I was able to learn from the error of my ways and reflect on the kind of teacher I want to be. I had to find fun and innovative ways to feed them the information they needed to know.
Mrs. Sharon, what have you learned from this experience?
I have learned from this experience that you must be patient with all your students, especially those who lack the motivation and struggle the most. The teacher must be willing to reteach without judging the students who require it. You must be innovative in the way you present the content to your students. Students will most likely have a disdain for the subjects you teach, so as a teacher you must find creative and unique ways to teach the students. Teaching also requires the ability to reflect. This skills allows you to analyze what worked, what can be improved, and what you need to modify so the students have a far better educational experience. This project has also taught me that applying different learning styles is possible, and it's the best way to reach students. You must observe your students and find out which learning style the students prefer. I have learned not to make pre-assumptions about students. I also realized that if you give a little of your time and effort to the students, it can make the biggest difference.
Thank you, Mrs. Sharon, for all those insightful answers. This will surely be helpful to all new teachers out there.
You're welcome. I am glad I could help.
Created using Powtoon.